Welcome back, guys. It is time for another kiln opening, and it's been a minute. The last kiln opening I did was in April. I don't think I did a single glaze firing in May. Life has gotten in the way of me being in my studio recently, so this is actually not a very full kiln. I have some pieces in here that I was working on for some family members and friends that had asked me for pieces for different things, and I could not keep holding off on getting these fired just to fill the kiln more. So I prefer to fill my kiln most of the way when I'm doing a glaze firing because it helps with heat distribution and everything, but we decided to go ahead and fire this one anyway. So let's see. So the last couple kilns that I've been firing, I've been trying to dial in my temperature to get my cone the way I want it to be. I've been firing to a cone 6. The first couple times I hit a 7 because it was a new kiln, new elements, so it was firing hotter. I've been putting in a cone offset to bring it down a little bit. The last time I fired, I had a negative 45-degree cone offset, and it still started to bend my 7 cone. This time I did a negative 55, and the 7 didn't bend, which is nice. That's this one. It didn't quite hit a solid 6, so it was a cool 6. So I'll probably alter it one more time in my next firing. Either extend my hold, because I have a 5-minute hold at the top, or I will change it to like a negative 50-degree. I don't want to do a full like offset on everything because my bisques have been firing perfectly without touching those. So I've just been altering the cone 6 firings. But anyway, moving on. This was one of the pieces that I had been asked to make for a friend of my sister's. So she does calligraphy, and she uses one of the offset calligraphy pens. And so she needed something that could hold her ink well at an angle because it makes it easier to dip, I guess, with those pens. So she was asking me if I could make something. This might be a little bigger than she wanted, but so I made her a tray so that there's enough room to set down the calligraphy pens on it, but with a little well that when she sets her ink jar in there, it'll hold it at an angle so that she can dip appropriately. So this is a wave pattern from a rolling pin made by Jessica Putnam Phillips. And then the glazes that I used on these, I did Amaco's Cobalt, applied it and then wiped it back so that it would get into the indentations from the pin. And then I covered it with a 50-50 mixture of rainforest and wasabi, which are both in the Celadon line from Amaco. I had seen somebody had done a combination like that where they mixed the rainforest and wasabi. So it was mixed prior to applying, just 50-50 in a little cup, and then put it on. I really like the result, especially over the cobalt. I thought that it's a really, really pretty color. So hopefully that'll work for her. If not, I mean, it was my first attempt at making a calligraphy holder for her. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully she likes that. And then when I was out in Vermont 2 weekends ago, I think it was, for Vermont Open Studio Weekend, I picked up a little sample of Amaco's Blue Stone. I had never used it before, so I was looking for some combinations that I could use it with, and I found somebody that had used Blue Stone with lustrous jade, and so I tried it on a bowl, and it came out pretty amazing. I applied the Blue Stone first. So this is just Blue Stone here. It gets that almost like a patina. It's a matte glaze, so it's really, really satiny and smooth. I like the variation in the color that it got on it. And then I went back in with 2 to 3 coats of lustrous jade, just irregularly applied. I made sure I got the rim really well, but down in here you could see it was just kind of swirled. And I really, really like how that turned out. So I might have to pick up some Blue Stone now because that's pretty awesome. I have one more mug further down in that I used it on too, so we'll see how that one came out. But yeah, I'm not upset with that result whatsoever. I have another new combination. I had to make myself a cheat sheet with all of my glaze combos on it because I did a lot of new stuff that I hadn't done before. This one, these are Mayco glazes. So it's Norse blue is the base, and then over the top of it is sandstone. So that's just 2 coats of each. And I've used these in the opposite order, I believe, before. I definitely use sandstone and Norse blue a lot, but I had never combined the 2 of them together like this, and that came out really, really pretty. I am very happy with that. It definitely moved, but like just a little bit. Like these little drips that you see here is about as much as it moved on the outside. So it doesn't take off on me, so that's good. That's good to know. But yeah, again, I like that one. I'll definitely be trying that one again too. And then I had a little spoon rest, so I was gonna try like a little swirl pattern, which actually turned out nice. This is honey flux with chun plum and seaweed, which are all Amaco, and then this one is blue surf from Mayco. I like how this came out, but I was a little disappointed. I had some plucking, so I don't know if you can see my glare here, but the bottom of the piece, not the glaze, just the clay itself, stuck to my cookie. So you can see it popped off little pieces of the clay, which, I mean, I can sand it down. This can just be one of my pieces, but it's weird. I haven't had this happen yet, and nothing is different. Actually fired cooler than I normally do. Everything's fired on a cookie. The cookies are kiln washed, but I don't think I have enough kiln wash on them. When I did my kiln wash, when I made it up, I think it's too thin, and I only put 2 thin coats on my cookies, and so I think I need to go back and put more on to try to keep everything from sticking. So that was a little disappointing. Hopefully I don't have any more pieces that plucked, because that's frustrating, but it's pretty. So, I mean, I can do this combination again. I like it. It's just a little spoon rest. You can always use spoon rests in the house, so this can be for us or for family members, but I wouldn't sell it if it's got chunks missing from the bottom. And then I had well, we called him my brother growing up, but we're not really related, but his son is getting married, and they asked me if I would make something for their future daughter-in-law. She really likes flowers and green, and so they said, you know, maybe a mug or a planter. So I tried a couple different mugs for them to pick from. I don't do carving. I just haven't really gotten into it yet, but I decided to carve a mug. So this is my first foray into carving. So this was a Mishima technique. So I threw the mug, trimmed it, fired it, and then I covered it, or not fired it, threw the mug and trimmed it, and then covered it in wax when it was still leather hard. And then I carved through the wax so that when it was done, I could go back and put in black underglaze and lay it into the lines that I had carved out, and then wiped off the rest of the underglaze from the waxed area. So then when I fired it, it came out looking like a coloring book. Like you have solid black lines that you can go back in and color in. And so then I went in with some velvet underglazes. So this is mint green in the leaves, and then the flowers themselves, I wrote it down because I knew I would forget, violet and electric blue. So I went in and hand painted it with underglaze, and then I just did clear glaze over the top of the carving, and then it's lustrous jade on the inside and on the handle. And I'm very happy with that for my very first carved piece. I think that came out quite nice. So hopefully they like it. That's one of the options that they can pick for her. I had one more that I did. This is a Underglaze Transfer from Elon. I believe this is an Elon transfer that I went back in. So the transfer is in black and white, and I went back in afterwards and I used Mayco Stroke and Coat on the flowers themselves. So it's Ruby Slippers, Blueberry Hill, Sunkissed, and Caribbean Blue. So Stroke and Coat will flux, so you don't actually need to put clear glaze over the top of Stroke and Coat, and sometimes if you do put clear glaze over Stroke and Coat, it'll run, and I didn't want it to run. So after I did all the flowers, I actually waxed the flowers and then applied my clear and wiped the clear back on top of the flowers, and it came out perfect. Like there's no gaps between where the flower and the clear glaze is. It's just a nice solid glossy finish. And then the handle on the inside is Amaco's Wasabi, and I did 4 coats of it just because I wanted to have a nice solid even coverage, and I think that one came out really cute. So that's another one that they can choose from. I did do a planter for her as well. It's on the bottom, it's down at the bottom, so we'll get to that one in a little bit, but very happy with how that came out. I love how the colors turned out from that Stroke and Coat, especially this teal one. That's pretty. That's Caribbean Blue. Very nice. I'm gonna pause momentarily to take out some kiln shelves and then we'll continue. I pulled out the shelf and looked down and went, oh, it's so pretty. It's always a good reaction when you're unloading your kiln. So this is, I wanted to try mixing some Amaco and Mayco glazes. I am in love with this. So this on the bottom is, well, the whole thing was done in honey flux. And then I had a band of raspberry mist up here and a band of lavender mist here. I am stoked with how this one came out. This is so gorgeous. They both moved a little bit. There really wasn't any overlap between the raspberry mist and the lavender mist. In the past, when I've mixed those glazes and layered them, they run like crazy. They're insane. But I absolutely love how this came out. I'm a huge fan of Honey Flux from Amaco. I think it's gorgeous and it's just a winner. Everything looks good on top of it. It kind of mutes the colors a little bit. So like if you've ever used raspberry mist, it can be quite bright. But yeah, no, it's gorgeous over the Honey Flux. I'm extremely happy with how that one came out. And I will definitely be doing that combination again. So that's awesome. I've done in the past a mixture of wasabi and seaweed. I did it on a giant bowl in the past and it came out really cool. So I had this, it's just a cup. I had this cup that had a nice texture on it. So I decided to do, I covered the whole thing in wasabi and then went back and at the top of every ridge put like 3 coats of seaweed. And that came out really cute. I like that. I like how that, it ran just a little bit on each one, but you still have the stripes on it. And the inside is just wasabi. That's cool. I like it. I like that combination. Wasabi can sometimes be overly bright for me. I mean, it's a very, very bright green. I like it, but I think the seaweed added to it kind of tones it down a little bit and gives it a little bit more character. Very cool. And then I have, this is, ooh, I don't want to say this wrong. This might be a Sandbow transfer. I can't remember if this is Sandbow or Elon, but it's dogs. It's just a bunch of dogs together, which I think is super cute. And then the glazes on this one are Norse blue with Aurora green. I believe I say that. Yep. So 2 coats of Norse blue and then 2 quarts of Aurora green over it. I didn't take the Aurora green all the way down the handle because it has a tendency to run over the top of Norse blue, but that came out. I was glazing this and did not intend to glaze the Aurora blue all the way down on the inside and then did anyway. So, whoops. But then on the bottom, there's another little puppy to say hi. So that one came out really cute. I like that one. This was the other blue stone mug that I did. So this is textured turquoise and then blue stone with some honey flux, and it is gorgeous. So I mean, textured turquoise has that normal variation that it gets, a little bit of blue, a little bit of green. But yeah, the blue stone over the top of it came out quite nice. I like that. So this is the difference. This was lustrous jade and blue stone, and then this is textured turquoise and blue stone and honey flux. So blue stone it kind of takes over when you put it on there, I guess, because those are both very consistent color variations, but they're different glazes, so cool. And then a couple, I think 2 kilns ago, I had let my daughter glaze a mug. She and I were home alone one day and she was bored, so I said, you can come on down and you can pick out a mug and you can glaze a mug and it'll be your mug. And so she did, and she decided that she's going to give it to her teacher at the end of the year. We have like 3 days of school left. She's gonna give it to her teacher as a teacher gift. So my son was like, well, I wanna give my teacher a mug that I glazed. So he and I came down to the studio last week and I let him glaze a mug, and I stay out of it. They pick the glazes. I show them what they look like after they're fired, but they pick the glazes, they apply the glazes. So this is his glazed mug for his teacher. He decided to go with frosted lemon. So the inside of this is cinnabar. These are both Mayco glazes. So he did cinnabar on the inside and down to here. And then he did frosted lemon over the rest of it. So it's just cinnabar on the inside, which he did 4 coats, I think, of cinnabar on the inside. Because if you don't go thick enough on the cinnabar, it doesn't get that nice deep red. In my experience, when I've used it, it gets a little splotchy. So I can't remember if it was 3 thick coats or 4 coats, but he went real thick on that. And then he covered it in frosted lemon. And honestly, like, I think he did a really good job. That came out really nice. And I think she'll love it. It didn't move very much. But I like how you can see the cinnabar through the frosted lemon. I think that gives it a really cool variation in color. Like, so hopefully he's happy with that, because that one's for his teacher. Let's see, this was a new combination for me. I did a bowl, so the bottom coat inside and outside was frosted lemon, which I love frosted lemon. And then I covered that with muddy waters. So like, I don't like muddy waters by itself because it looks like mud. And every time I've used it, it looks like mud when I put it on. But I love it over frosted lemon. And I had not done this combination before, so I'm very excited that that turned out. And I will definitely do that again. Like, that's so cool. Very, very cool. It's a little bit textured on the inside too, which is fun. I think where the crystals were, like it's a solid glaze covering, like there's no pitting or anything, or pinholes, but it's got a little texture to it, which is funny. So I layered on, I put a lot of crystals in this. The Muddy Waters has crystals in it, and I included a lot of the crystals, but that came out so cool. And I like what it did on the outside too. That's a fun drip. I did not take it down far because I wasn't sure how much it was gonna move. Ooh, nice. Awesome. And then I did another peacock glaze bowl. This is, oh, I have to look. What did I use? This is, let's see, it's Celadon Bloom as the top coat. So when you do the peacock glaze, you go in with light flux. I mean, you can use dark flux too, but I used light flux and I made a whole bunch of diamonds on the inside of the bowl. And then I used Blueberry Hill, Caribbean Blue, and Teal Next Time. They're stroke and coat colors. So I go in, I do 2 coats of the light flux, and you can do swoopy patterns, you can do triangle patterns, like whatever you want to do, you can just do lines of it. And then you do blobs of the stroke and coats. And it takes forever to do this technique because you have to let everything dry really well between each time. And then afterwards I go over and I did 3 coats of Celadon Bloom because sometimes Celadon Bloom gets a little streaky if you don't go thick enough on it. But then I covered the whole thing when it was dry with 3 coats of Celadon Bloom. And so the outside was just the Blueberry Hill, and I had like little V's, and I did just Blueberry Hill on the outside. But I mean, you can see the flux moved like crazy, which is pretty cool. But you can still see the crystal formation from the Celadon Bloom, which is fun. And then the inside came out really pretty. It maybe went a little heavy with the flux. It was just 2 layers, but I apply it with a little squeeze bottle, so I think it went on. It was probably thick enough with just 1 layer, but if you don't go thick enough, it doesn't move at all. But yeah, that came out really cool. I like that one. Nice big bowl. We're gonna pause again to take some more shelves out. I think we've got 1 more set of shelves to get through. So this is the bottom shelf of the Kiln, last shelf. This was the planter that I made for my friend's future daughter-in-law. I've done this combination before. So this is sandstone. I put a lot of crystals in there because I just like the way that looks. Sandstone with then Norse blue and Aurora green. So typically when I do it, I bring the Norse blue down about yay far. And then, so 2 coats of sandstone, 2 coats of Norse blue, and then 2 coats of Aurora green. Moves like crazy, so you gotta be careful that you don't go too far down your piece. And then the inside was the same combination. And there's like a little attached water tray here. I have holes, there's 3 holes in it, which are hard to see with all the crystals, but so it's self-draining. So that's cool. That one came out nice. Hopefully they like that. If they don't like that, I might keep it because it's beautiful. And then we have a couple more things that I have not tried before, so I'm excited for these. This one is, oh, let's see. This one is definitely Norse blue. Let me figure out what this one is. Is it sad when I have notes and I can't figure out what it is still? Okay, so this is Norse blue, sorry, and Muddy Waters, which is awesome. And I love this mug. It came out like beautifully. I really like how that, I had just barely gone over the top with the muddy waters, mainly just so that my rim gets it, but that, like, the drips in there look like I did them on purpose, and I did not. That was all luck. This is gorgeous. I don't know if you can see all the color variation in here, but there's greens and browns and blues and just fantastic. So this is a nice big mug. I like that one. I made my cheat sheet because I had so many new combinations, and then I'm like searching on my cheat sheet to figure out where everything is. So here's my cone pack for the bottom. So this is what I actually want. I got a solid cone 6, so the bottom got to exactly how I wanted it. It's possible that I did not have an even firing because it was not a hugely packed kiln. The more wear in there is going to help hold that heat. So it's possible that that's just why. My top was pretty thin. Like, I did not have a whole lot of pieces on the top, but this is perfect. So I don't know, maybe I'll try the same setting for the next firing, but actually make sure I have a full kiln that time. So I'm not upset with that, but I wish the top had gotten a little hotter. So this is another one of my transfer mugs. So on one side you got a nice sunshine over the mountains. On the other side we got some nighttime camping. So this one is Norse blue with winter wood. So the Norse blue was put on first, so the inside is just Norse blue, and then I just did a band of winter wood on the top. I made sure I kept it up quite a bit so it didn't completely obscure my my Underglaze transfer. And then the bottom of it is just winter wood. So yeah, that came out really nice. I like that. And then this is another honey flux piece. And this one is honey flux with chun plum and blue surf. So this one had some overlap. This was chun plum through here, and well, maybe even a little higher. And then I brought the blue surf down over the top of the chun plum so that they actually mixed together in this area, and they have a little band of like purple that comes through here. So yeah, that one came out really nice. Again, this is just a, just a cup, tumbler. But again, honey flux for the win because it's amazing. Love it. So honey flux and chun plum are both, excuse me, Amaco glazes, and the blue surf is a Mayco glaze. Couple more pieces down here. This one, I had some of the glaze left over from when I did the tray, which was the mixture of rainforest and wasabi 50-50. So I figured I would put it on the bottom of this piece because I had enough left. I wish I'd had enough for another coat because it's a little thin, a little streaky. I did go in alternating directions, but sometimes with the Celadons, even that doesn't really do as much as you need it to. And then over the top of this is seaweed with some honey flux. So I'm not upset with it. I like it. It's not as solid of a coverage down here as I would prefer, but I like this color combo. I like the rainforest and wasabi mixed together. Next time I would just go thicker with it. But same thing on the inside, rainforest and wasabi. So seaweed, the seaweed probably came down about this far. It didn't really move. And then it was just honey flux at the lip. So pretty, like it. I realized after I had fired it that I forgot to sign the bottom. So it just got a little underglaze signature. Whoops. It happens. Oh, this one came out really pretty. I like it. So this is another one that I hadn't done before. This is frosted lemon with Aurora green over the top. Very, very cool. I love what the crystals in Aurora green do, because some of them are gonna go this dark blue, and then some of the crystals break with this kind of brown color. And so it gives such a cool variation to your piece. It's not, I mean, it's so interesting. It's not just a solid color all the way around. And the inside is just frosted lemon. I feel like this one's very summery, very bright. I like it. I like it a lot. And we have two more. So this was one that I was trying, I'd never tried before. I'm happy about it. So the inside is frosted lemon. And then on the outside, I want to make sure I say it right. I think it's mulberry. Yep. So it's mulberry which is an Amaco, one of the Amaco Celadons, and then Norse blue over the top of the mulberry. And I wrapped the Norse blue a little bit on the inside. So that's Norse blue over frosted lemon, which is actually also really pretty. It's really bright, holy cow. And then on the outside, it's mulberry up to here, and then Norse blue over that. And I believe I did 4 coats of mulberry, because again, with the Celadon, sometimes they come out a little bit streaky otherwise. And I did 4 different directions of painting too. The first one went around, up and down, sideways, and then around again. So just trying to get that coverage even, but that's really pretty. I like that. It's like an eggplant color. I had seen a combination, I think where I got this from, I saw a combination where somebody took eggplant. I believe it's called eggplant. I don't have the glaze, but it's eggplant by Mayco and then Norse blue over the top. And I was like, that's gorgeous. So I don't have eggplant, so I tried it with mulberry, and I think it was very successful. You gotta, work with what you got sometimes. And then the last piece in here, it's pretty. Okay, so this is winter wood. It's snow, Amaco's snow on the inside. It's winter wood on the whole piece on the outside, and then honey flux, also from Amaco. So winter wood is a Mayco glaze. And I think that came out gorgeous. Anytime you put a runner, light flux or honey flux or something like that over the top of winter wood, it looks like melted ice cream to me, and I just think it's awesome. It's like melted cookies and cream. I just think it comes out really, really pretty. So there's the inside of that piece. So all in all, I'm not upset with any of these new glaze combinations I tried. They all came out really, really pretty. Hopefully the pieces that I made for other people, they like them. If not, try again. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully the next load will be a bigger load. So this one was only, I think, 21 pieces in it, which is, for the size of my kiln, was not a lot of pieces, but all good stuff. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.